Seasky, which in fact has run 6th in the race, and so correct weight is there for everything now. There are the selections. Jenny likes Rock You, and we've gone for the stablemate, Poetic King, from both Richard and John, and also myself. I think this will be a pretty good betting race. Tim Gossage is down, watching all the action in the ring.
Well, the old-timer Poetic King is the standout favourite. Good money early too, Peter and everyone, for Accomplice in this next race. Now, I've just been given an updated market for the Melbourne Cup after the last race, the McKinnon, and yes, Ebony Grove's price has been slashed a couple of points. It's now on the 4th line of betting. Might and Power still the favourite. Doremus, Linesman, and Ebony Grove is 8-1 4th favourite after its fantastic victory in the McKinnon.
Not surprising. Thank you for that report, Tim Gossage in the betting ring. And who was that man? Let's go back to you, Tim. We'll find out.
Just one of your many friends, Pete. I know you have a lot down there. You know, one of the things I look forward to coming down here for Melbourne Cup weeks is to see the 4 suits that Dom Bagnato has supplied me with for the week. And as usual, they're absolutely beautiful. Everyone loves to shop in Melbourne. And if you're coming to Melbourne, you can do no worse than going to visit Dom. The suits are absolutely beautiful. And all of our fellas are dressed by Dom for Carnival Week. As we take a break, let's have a look at some of the very fashionable people on Derby Day.
And we will leave the world remembering when we were kings, when we were kings.
As we come back to you on Derby Day, if you're watching us from the States or Japan, we're not quite sure how many viewers we have today, probably 30 or 40 million throughout the USA and Japan. That was some of the wineries of Victoria. If you're coming to visit Australia, it's just beautiful territory. They make marvellous wine. I'm a particular fan of the fortified wine they make throughout Victoria. And there's everybody here on Derby Day, and it's really quite a beautiful day out there now. The weather cleared, and it's a nice, cool, refreshing day for Derby Day. Last time we saw Tim Bailey, he was in the CUB tent, but he told me on the way out here this morning he was going to have a go at them today. So where else would you find him but in the betting ring?
Well, here's a fella that's got a keen eye on not only the swimming pool, but also the betting pool. You'll recognise his face and the name, of course, Scotty Miller. Welcome to Flemington, mate.
Hey, mate, good to be here.
Nice to see you on dry land. It's the only time we can catch up with you.
Oh, well,
pretty quick for us everywhere else.
Well, it's great to be down here. It's, year 6 I've been to Spring Carnival. Love it.
You do, don't you? I mean, you are a pretty good form student, and outside of that butterfly business, the punt.
Well, there's a funny saying that if you can also know too much from the punting game, and sometimes you know too much and think too much and you go terrible. So
yeah, we're having a bit of one of those days, mate. That's what you're trying to say.
It's my first win, so I'm pretty happy now.
Tell me, plenty of motivation. Michael Clem smashing that world record and getting into the Australian team for the Worlds. You now have really got to put your head down, don't you?
Yeah, I've had a pretty rough last 12 months, and I've had a shoulder injury for the last 6, and it's just starting to come well now, but no pain when I'm swimming, so that's the main thing. And I'm enjoying swimming for the first time in about in 12 months, so as long as you're enjoying it, some good things going to happen.
You've got to have a smile on your face, and you'll put a smile on plenty of people's faces at home. If you can tip the winner of the Salinger, what do you think?
I'm having a big go on Poetic King. I think that's going to go pretty well today.
Poetic King, Scotty Miller, thanks very much, mate.
All right, Timmy, thanks, mate.
Cheers. Back to the studio.
Thank you, fellas. The long and the short of it. You know, back in the 70s, that was a formidable combination, was Hayes and Thompson. Well, they're back together again this Tuesday. The imported stayer Court of Honour. This time, Thompson riding for Peter Hayes.
His birth certificate will tell you he was born in New Zealand. But if, as they say, home is where the heart is, then Brent Thompson is back home again in Melbourne and loving it.
I really, for a period of time, wasn't enjoying riding so much, but going back to England and I really got the bug again for it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying riding.
And the wheel has turned full circle. The kid who once developed such a renowned partnership with the great Colin Hayes has again been riding for Lindsay Park with some success. A bit like the good old days.
What really brings home to remembering back to those years is when you go through sort of some of those big races and and all of a sudden you go down to the 70s and 80s, and all of a sudden you say, oh, just, you know, this is slipping away a bit here.
Dulcify brilliantly wins the Cox Plate by 6 lengths.
But the elation from that stunning win in the 1979 Cox Plate turned to grief for Thompson 10 days later. Dulcify had his pelvis shattered when he was galloped on in the Melbourne Cup.
Dulcify's broken down in the Cup. Dulcify's broken down.
His injuries proved fatal. It was Brent's saddest day in racing.
Good horses you do get attached to, and so yes, it was by far and away the saddest day of my career. I'm sure probably Colin Hayes' career. I don't have any doubt that he would have won the race, and I believe he would have probably won it by a hollow margin as well.
The Babe's achievements leave little room for regrets, but not having taken out the Cup for one reason or another might be one of them.
I suppose there'd be a disappointment in my career if I didn't. You know, I'd look back and say, you know, what if? But I think I've had so many highs that the disappointments don't rate that much, you know.
Having experienced racing in many parts of the world, Brent Thompson is more qualified than most to comment on the Melbourne Cup Carnival's place in world racing. His response leaves no room for doubt. He's very happy to be back home.
Looking at what the VRC have done and Melbourne's done to Melbourne Cup Week, it's no doubt. There's no doubt it's a showpiece. It's, you know, certainly rates with the likes of, you know, Royal Ascot in England, and I've been to Breeders' Cups in America, and you know, they do put on a wonderful spectacle.
A tremendous amount of talent in his hands, Brent Thompson. The Salinger's not far away. We'll take a short break. Welcome back to Victoria Derby Day here at Flemington. They're in the mounting yard for the Salinger. And Peter Donegan, what was that Richard Friedman called Poetic King? A tubby little pig, wasn't it?
Something like that.
I wouldn't mind a little pig who'd won $1 million.
Oh, look, he is such a great tryer, Tim. He doesn't know anything but to try in his races. As I said before, his stable nickname is Plugger, but he's anything but.
That's for sure, and he looks terrific here again today, so I'm sure he's there with a strong chance in this.
Well, we're nearly dying from sunstroke here, so let's have a look at the field here. We've had the Four Seasons today, and there is Poetic King number 1. Outstanding effort at Caulfield when he was off the track in the barrier draw and flashed home to finish third behind Toledo.
He'd had a little break before that run as well, Peter, and I just think that this is going to suit him here today. The 1,200 metres, drawn nicely in barrier 4, Damien Oliver on board. He'll certainly help him along as well.
What about Accomplice number 2, Jen, trained by John Hawkes? Good form in Brisbane earlier in the year.
Yes, his Caulfield run last start, he did race on the worst part of the track, and that was his first up effort. He has won 2 Group 1 races, so I think he's there with a very good chance.
Cut Up Rough finally broke through for a well-deserved Group 1 victory in the Vic Health, and then finished 11th of 13 in the Toorak Handicap.
Back to the 1,200 here from 1,600 metres, and has been freshened up. He'll like the sunshine out, drying up this track here. He's some chance in the race.
Pangula comes back from the 1,600 to the 1,200 too, but he's a big, strong type. He's right in this.
He is. He was ridden back in the Toorak, and he scored very nicely on that occasion. He's a good horse. He needs a little time to settle in his races, but if he can do that, he's there with the chance as well.
Number 5, Ruffles, knows all about the straight track, won the Newmarket here earlier this year.
Yes, she's a very good mare. She's 5 years old now. She's certainly capable of lifting here in Melbourne because of that Newmarket effort, and another horse with a good chance.
Brad Sun, number 6, to be ridden by Darren Beedman for Peter Hayes. Wasn't a bad run behind Rock. You only beaten 2 lengths.
Yes, he's in the new stable now with Peter Hayes as well. Good run there at Flemington, I thought. He'll probably be quite strong at the end of this race, so he could probably get into the placings.
Flavour narrowly beaten by Toledo at Caulfield on that run as a chance.
Well, yes, charged home at Caulfield there, and I think Flavour is quite capable. Only a 4-year-old, only had the 24 starts. An each-way chance.
Rock You likes the straight track, Jen, another one of Lee Friedman's in the race.
drawn out in 16. Whether or not that's going to help Rock You, I'm not particularly sure. We'll just have to wait and see down the 1200 here. But a soft win last start at Flemington, and I think he's still there with a chance.
Another excuse is always running on in his races, and you give him a chance?
Well, yes, his last couple have been not as good as we know of, another excuse, but I've left him there with an each-way chance. He's had a little bit of odds as well. He is definitely capable of improvement.
And go down to the bottom one now, number 17, Regal Curator. Bobby Alyssa takes the ride here. Impeccable form up in Sydney.
Yes, very good form in weaker company though, Pete. This is his toughest effort here today. I think you'll find it tough too.
So very quickly?
Very quickly, I'll go back. Number 8, Rock You. From number 9, another excuse. And number 1, Poetic King.
Poetic King for me. We'll take a break. Back with the Salinger at Flemington very shortly. Next of the Group 1 events coming up here at Flemington, the Salinger Stakes down the famous straight 1,200 metre course. We've got a field of 14 running. With his thoughts, Roy Higgins.
Thanks, Pete. Mark Lee Friedman here to run the Quinella in the top 8 in Poetic King, and also Rock You. This horse looked excellent here today, Rock You. So I've gone 1 and 8. The 2 Accomplice looks excellent, and if you want a bit of value, number 9, another excuse, runs well down the straight. I went 1, 8, 2 and 9.
And we will see you on Melbourne Cup Day.
I don't work midweek. Well, Pete.
Good on you, Roy. Roy Higgins, who'll be along. He's making an early exit. Let's go down to the betting ring. There's some big news down there with Tim Gossage.
Rock You has halved its quote, was double figures. It's the biggest plunge of the day. Rock You, the Lee Friedman trained Poetic King is the favourite, but the stablemate Rock You heavily supported.
OK, Tim Gossage with the news from the betting ring. If you want to have a last-minute bet, Rock You, they've come for it in a big way. Let's go up to Dan and Gary in the commentary box.
Getting close to a start. Straight 6, they call it, the famous straight 6, 1,200 metres, 1.2 kilometres, Gary.
Yes, they'll go to... Do you think anyone will be game enough to go to the inside rail, Dan? We're always saying they'll go to the outside, but do you think Pengulu or something like that might go over and even Rock You? Or do you think they'll come to the outside?
I wouldn't rule it out. It's not a biggish field of 14 in the race, and the clerk of the course just coming down the track. I think there was a gentleman standing close to the rail, so the clerk of the course is going to tell the man in the blue shirt to get a little further back. It is possible, Gary.
Yes, well, the inside's definitely the fastest, but it's just if you're game enough to give it a try.
Now they're set. The Group 1 Salinger is about to get underway. Poetic King the favourite, Rock You heavily backed. And they're racing now. Ruffles a little tardy to begin. Way well, Rock You is going to go straight over to the flat side of the track with Natoir. So there's Rock You and Natoir splitting up, and the other 12 are coming down the grandstand side of the track. Ruffles is going through now to try and share the lead up front with Regal Curator. Just in behind those was Royal Discard, which is hard up against the outside rail. Next was Accomplice, followed by its stablemate Flavour. Bradson's in the first half a dozen or so, Rye Hero. And then came another excuse, Cut Up Rough. And Pengulu's back about last in that main pack. Poetic King's about third last as they come down towards the 700 metres mark now. And on the flat side of the track, it's Natoir on the outside of Rock You. And down the grandstand side, Royal Discard is the leader. From Bradson, Accomplice, and then Ruffles, Rye Hero into the clear. Regal Centre likewise. Flavours coming into it. Noah followed by another excuse, and Pengulu running on. It's Rock You and Natoir on the flat side of the track. Down the grandstand side, Flavour hit the lead from Accomplice, Bradson, and then Cut Up Rough. It is the stablemates Accomplice and Flavour together on the flat side. It's Natoir and Rock You. They are stretched across the track. The inside in front. Natoir, the bolt of the leader near the post, and Natoir's won it and blown them out of the water. Natoir first has beaten Rock You. Third is Flavour, I think, from Accomplice, and then Cut Up Rough and Pengulu. Next time would have been Bradson, Poetic King, Rye Hero, Royal Discard, another excuse, Regal Curator, Regal Centre, and Ruffles knocked up to finish at the rear. Well, 1:11.1 is the time, and Natoir, which is number 16, you'll find has won the race from 8 Rock You. And for third, it was a bit closer because I had to concentrate on the inside of the track. I thought it was either the stablemates, Flavour number 7 or 2 Accomplice. Number 16 has got it. 16 the winner, and that is Natoir. at almighty odds.
Well, Dan, you know, I thought this might happen because we thought this morning and all day we've said that inside part is definitely the fastest.
16-8 and 7, 16-8, 7 are official. Fourth in number 2, Accomplice, and fifth in number 3, Cut Up Rough.
Well, here they are, Harrod here. That's the 2 on the inside, Notoire on the outside, and Rock You on the inside. And at this stage, coming to the 200 metres, they've got away. And definitely that section of the track's faster. Every other year we've seen them want to get to the outside, but today it's different.
Gary asked me before the race, we were having a quiet little chat just before the horses were moving in, and we both thought that horses might come down the flat side of the track.
Yes, I actually thought Pengulu might go down there also. And then, of course, on the outside here, you've got Flavour and Accomplice really fighting it out. But that inside, I'd say, you know, would be a good couple of lengths faster than the outside today.
Notoire, he'd been pressured in those shorter distances, but only 2 horses coming down the flat side of the track. They didn't put pressure on one another, and they still had a kick left. And although there wasn't a lot between inside and out, here's the winner arrowed here, and watch the beeline they take straight back to the inside of the track.
Straight to that inside. There they go. Well, here I thought the grey might also go.
Yeah, well, it's
Rock You's gone right over, hasn't it? It's gone very quick to that fence, and Notoire has followed it over.
Well, Rock You was heavily supported. Tim Gossage had pointed out it just about halved its quote in the ring, and perhaps we know why now. Perhaps the connections and the pro punters had thought that part of the track might be better, and Rock You would be first over.
Yeah, that's the second winner for the day for Paul Perry.
It certainly is. What a big Derby day for him.
Yeah,
$23.60 and $7.50 for number 16, Notoire. Number 8, Rock You, $2.90, and number 7, Flavour third, a return of $3.50. He beat the outside division, and there was a bigger field coming down the outside, but the horses on the flat side, the 2 of them, have quinelled it. Second win for the day for Paul Perry. Lenny Beasley is the rider. I think that'd be Lenny's first Flemington win, and certainly a Group 1 win, John Letts.
Yes. Yep, fellas, I've got Lenny Beasley here, and Lenny, Group 1 winner, your first winner in Melbourne.
Yes, that's right, my first Group 1 winner. I'm a bit excited. Me and Paul Perry decided that we'll take the horse to the inside rail and take the risk, and with the lightweight, you know, things worked out lovely. And, yeah, you know.
Lenny, he showed a lot of speed.
He did, yeah. He was travelling lovely, and I was always confident that he was going to run on.
You weren't worried about the horses on the outside down the grandstand?
I had a couple of looks, but I was just going too well. I just wanted to save it for the last bit.
Mate, it's terrific you win a Group 1, your first city winner in Melbourne, and let's just hope it keeps up over the carnival, and for you and Paul Perry.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Good luck, Lenny.
Well done to Lenny Beasley, talking there with Johnny Letts, and here is Paul Perry, 2 winners on Derby Day. That's not bad.
Yeah, no, it was good, yeah.
Was it always the predetermined plan that you were going to come down the inside?
Yeah, it was sort of, you know, he drew out there, and a couple of the good judges said earlier they thought the fence was probably a bit better than the outside, you know. So, yeah, we went that way.
Is your heart in your mouth in these straight races when they split up? Because really, until they come past you, you haven't got too much idea what's in front.
No, it's hard to say, and it's hard to judge them, but, you know, I just thought with the light weight and everything like that, you know, he's run at Caulfield, he's improved a bit since then, and I thought he had a good chance also.
Did you know there was a big plonk on the other horse that was on the inside with you, Rock You?
No, I didn't know that, no.
Probably just as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything else for him in this carnival, Paul?
I think there's an 1,100 metre race on this Saturday, you know, a week today, you know, might put him in that.
So you had some cause for celebrations earlier, now you've got double the cause. Well done.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Paul Perry, the winning trainer. 2 winners on Derby Day. As the winner Notoire comes back, the numbers there 16, 8 and 7, time 111.1. We'll take a break and be back to Flemington as Network 10's live and exclusive coverage of Amy Victoria Derby Day continues.
Okay, we're back. Derby Day at Flemington. The jocks weighing in. Beedman there. We'll be after correct weight from Mr. Gleeson, which looks like it will be forthcoming.
7, 2, 3,
Has to happen after every race. There it is. Weight is right. On Derby Day, and another boil over. Notoire, Danny Malecki.
And some big dividends here, Tim. The winner, returning the following amount for the win in the place: $23.60 and $7.50. 8 Rock U, $2.90, and 7 Flavour, $3.50. Quinella, $123.30. The trifecta, $3,485.90. The trifecta being able to get first, second and third. Now the exacta, which is first and second in correct order, $398.60. The running double for 7 and 16, $327.80. The daily double for the combination 9 and 16, $653.40. And the quaddie today is a big one, 7976. You could rest on your laurels with this, $11,253. Half a length by a neck. 111.1 was the time. Fourth in Tim was Accomplice, and fifth was Cut Up Rough.
Yes. It was a good win too by Notoire. They're ready for the presentations down on the track. Here's Rob.
Thank you very much. I don't think we've seen more ecstatic winners than we've got here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Salinger Stakes, another Group 1 event. Mr. Doug Reid is representing the VRC. But to begin our presentations, please welcome Mr. Neil Grant, the General Manager of Trading Victoria, Tasmania of Southcorp Wines Proprietary Limited.
Thanks, Rob. Ladies and gentlemen, may I first thank the Victorian Racing Club for making it possible for our flagship sparkling wine Salinger to be a part of one of the greatest days on the Australian racing calendar. Seppelt have enjoyed a long association with the Victorian Racing Club. We trust that racing patrons continue to celebrate with Seppelt sparkling wines. We at Seppelt believe that Salinger represents the benchmark in Australian sparkling wines, and as such are very proud to sponsor today's Group 1 Salinger Stakes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to congratulate Notoire on a great win, jockey Lenny Beasley on a great ride, and trainer Paul Perry, and now take great pleasure in presenting this year's Salinger Stakes trophy to the owner, Terry Wallace. Thank you very much.
And there's the presentation after race 8, the Salinger Stakes, and bookies are getting all money at the moment. A couple of well-backed ones, Kensington Palace notably in race 5, but since then, Jen, it's been all one-way traffic, all in favour of the bookies.
It sure has, and what about the bias there on the inside?
Incredible. But Lee Freedman came out shaking his head after the race and said, well, we knew it was going to be quick. But that's over and done with. History now. We've got the Get Out Stakes to go, the last event, the Yallambee Stud Stakes at 4:45. As we take a look at the tote figures for the final event, take us through your thoughts.
Well, I like number 7 here, Confiscate. He was 5 wide most of the way last start, and he really couldn't get in. There was no fault of his jockey, Damien Oliver. He fought on extremely gamely there, and I thought that would hold him in good stead. I thought he'd be very hard to beat. From number 4, Del Sol, a little bit tricky to follow this horse, but he also fought on well at Caulfield. And last start winner, number 16, Bewilder. I thought the weight drop would suit her here.
I'm with you. I like Confiscate in the race, and I think it's come up quite respectable odds. I thought it might come up quite a bit shorter than that, but it opened up round about the $4 mark, so they are pretty good odds. And there you have it. We have a quorum with Confiscate from all 4 of us. So fingers crossed here if you're trying to get out on the last event, but if you fancy something else where you're going to get pretty good odds, it is a wide open betting race, Tim. Last event at Flemington, the Yallambee Stud Stakes, and it's due at 4:45.
Okay, thank you, PD. And while we've got a little opportunity, let's check back in with Lynn Talbot, see what she's up to.
Hey, thanks, Tim. As you know, we've been shining that spotlight on young designers, and I have got 2 here. First of all, Ur Dervish of Il Alishan. Now, I got that out. Yes. Interesting name. Good. Now, can you describe this garment here?
And basically, it's just a modern understanding of classical style and composure. Yeah.
It's quite beautiful. It's got a medieval feel to it, in a sense.
Yeah, if you like. It's just quite minimal, and we're just letting it fall gracefully. And I just think it doesn't have to shout. It's got grace.
Thank you. Well done. And from yesteryear to something very modern with the Phillips label and the Phillips sisters. And we've got Louisa and Sam. Can you describe this one for us?
This is very modern, actually. I mean, for the first time, we've seen a sheer top, a very low plunging neckline, and yeah, it's very contemporary, very good for the races. It's quite classic, but at the same time, it's very modern.
Split the skirt, fully split the skirt, and just beaded here to give it a little bit of intricacy.
It's got a bit of an edge, the whole outfit.
It's a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, it's great for the race.
And it's a little bit from the past as well, as now.
Fantastic. Well, well done to you all, and thanks to our models, and we'll be showcasing a lot more young design in the weeks to come.
Thank you very much, Lynn. We'll take a break, and after it, we'll chat to the very happy owner of the Derby winner second coming, Paul Moroney.
It was a stunt that got way out of hand.
On Derby Day is a big enough thrill. Winning the Derby itself is an absolute dream. A man who can attest to that is the owner of Second Coming, Paul Moroney. He's with me. Hi. What a thrill.
Oh, it really hasn't sunk in yet. No doubt it will, probably an hour or so after the last race, but yeah, this is as good as it gets, winning a Derby like this. It's been planned for so long. I bought the horse with the idea that he may be a Derby horse, and you live in hope, and that's what is the beauty of this game. It's all about hopes and dreams.
Tell us about the stables both in New Zealand and here. How long have you been up and running?
Mike's been training now on his own account for about 12 years. He was in partnership with Dave O'Sullivan. He was foreman for Dave for 9 years before he went out on his own. And he became the first person to beat Dave at his own trade by winning a premiership and taking it off the O'Sullivans. He did that 2 years in a row.
Well, you haven't seen it yet on television, and have a look at this, because he really went away from them. It was a stunning win.
It was. He just proved to be the fastest and best stayer in the field, and really gave nothing else a chance. He ran them ragged. It was our plan. It worked.
And didn't he go to the line like a good horse?
Did he what? He's become my favourite horse now.
Yeah, and as Peter Donegan has been saying, and he's listening into, the Inside is the place to be today.
Yes, certainly. Funnily enough, Mike said to me as he's saddling the horse, he said, I just heard Damien Oliver say the fence is gone. I said, well, I hope not, because that's where we're going to be. So, you know, we're a bit tentative about that. But the plan was to go out to the front, set up a strong gallop and try and maintain it. We were confident the horse would stay. We knew that was the horse's attribute. People say he might be one pace, but if that's one pace at that fast clip, we're very happy about that.
I'll bring Peter in a second, but the horse comes first, you said, and that's it. A rest for him now, no Melbourne Cup?
Definitely. We've had a little bit of pressure put on us today to say he should be running in the Cup, but maybe the weakest Cup for a while, and he would get him the 48 kilos. I actually have had Lisa Crop on standby in Singapore to come and ride the horse, and she might be a little bit disappointed, but the horse must come first. We end up cramming one extra run into him that we hadn't planned for, because we thought we'd just got a little bit behind the 8 ball. He's lined up 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
He's a great little horse. He just won us a Derby. He can go and have a big race.
Yeah. PD?
Yeah, Paul, I think you're being pretty sensible there, because there's plenty of other opportunities, aren't there?
You probably didn't hear Peter. He just said there's plenty of other opportunities. You're being sensible with
For sure. There's a Derby in Sydney. They run in the autumn. There's a Japan Cup next year, and we just hope he's going to keep improving. He's only a medium-sized horse, but he's a strong horse with a great attitude, and he's a colt, so he's got value, and I don't think by running in a Melbourne Cup and possibly getting the horse beaten is going to do him any favours later on in life. So the horse comes first. He's a lovely little animal, and you know, he can go and have that rest, and maybe he can have it here in Australia. We might even sneak him home to some green grass in New Zealand.
Yeah, he's great. He's only a little fella too.
He's only a little fella. He's probably 15'2", but he's in proportion. He's very well built. He's got that lovely head and eye on him. You know, my job as a bloodstock consultant is to go out and choose these horses and to come up trumps in a Derby. Well, that makes all the work worthwhile.
You sure did today. Congratulations, well done. And I said after the last it'll probably sink in and you'll be all off somewhere for several hours, I would think, Paul.
I hope so. Thank you.
Paul Moroney, the owner of Second Coming, the stunning winner of the Amy Victoria Derby for 1997. Sandra Sully's in our marquee, continuing her musical theme.
I am, Tim. In fact, we're very fortunate today because I have with me the R&B group CDB, and welcome, guys.
Thank you very much.
They have a big tour tonight, and they should actually be leaving, but we're holding them back. They're actually singing the national anthem at the NBL final tonight, so I know they're a little nervous and they're anxious to get away, but we have managed to hold on to them. Tell us, guys, you've got a new album which is about to be launched, I understand, this week called Lifted.
That's right.
What can we expect?
A lot of good tunes, hopefully. We wrote it ourselves and produced it with the Rock Melons, and November 10th. It's uplifting music, positive stuff.
All right, and the next big positive thing for you, of course, is the Tina Arena Tour. Tell us when that starts and how that came about.
November 22nd, we're looking forward to going on tour with Tina, and that should be a blast, you know, take the band on the road with us and perform all the live material, so it should be great.
Okay, looks like we're really thrilled that you could join us today, and we do wish you the best of luck tonight. I'm going to say thank you and goodbye, but I know that you're going to give us a little bit of a treat, so how about it, guys? Some of the sounds of CDB.
Okay, if you join in, please.
Well, it's best that I don't join in, so take it away.
I've got something within me,
Something within me, Lord, within me, Lord, within me, Lord, holds in the rain. Something within me that banishes pain. Something within